the mortgage outlook in the UK at the moment, things have calmed down. The interest rates were rising. They've held. They will start, I believe, to reduce over the next few months, 2 years, I think, to settle. But we've seen that market move, which is interesting. It's a shock for a lot of people. Everyone was used to historically low rates. They didn't know a rate above, your 5-year fix of 1.75s, maybe your 1.5s, that kind of thing. People were stuck on that, which meant from a disposable income perspective, they had lots of it, which meant you could buy your brand new cars, you could have a way of life that has changed. It has fundamentally changed for people who have come into new mortgage deals that have seen the rates double and they've seen their mortgage payments considerably increase. But I think that's settled and people are more accepting of it now, and it won't go back to where it was before. But it will take a longer time to kind of move on. I don't know if you want to jump in there, Stephen. I don't want to talk for too long.
No, that's good. I mean, I think if we look, so one of the key indicators that lenders use is SONIA swaps. So they're effectively a financial instrument that drives lenders' pricing. So, I don't think there are going to be any seismic reductions in the base rate over the next year. We're probably looking at sort of 50 basis points to 70 basis point reduction. The 3 to 5 year outlook, we're not going to see any radical reduction. Base rate longer term, maybe 3.5%, 4%, something like that. I think the frame of mind with the rate setters now will be driven by inflation. So if you look at some of the historical changes in the base rate, inflation wasn't really around or wasn't a factor at the back end of the credit crunch. The Bank of England were very quick to drive quantitative easing, to drop the base rate to near 0%, and inflation really wasn't around then. Or certainly wasn't it was around, but it wasn't a factor in their minds. You fast forward to the COVID pandemic, and again, the Bank of England rode into the rescue, and they probably weren't thinking too heavily about inflation at the point where they dropped the base rate down to, again, a historically very, very low level. I think we'd be unlikely to see such significant swings in the base rate moving forward. I think inflation is one of these things that's quite ethereal. It's a bit like toothpaste. When you take it out of the tube, it's very difficult to get back in. And I think we're probably likely to see more modest movement in the base rate, I would say certainly for the next decade. Even if we were to run into some kind of financial catastrophe, it's quite unlikely that the Bank of England would pull that lever just as enthusiastically as they have in the past. That's not to say that they wouldn't come to the rescue in some way. But yeah, I think we'll probably see more modest changes in the base rate over the years to come.